I'll just and so one of the skills we're going to have then is being able to watch an interview and pick out open questions, affirmations, reflections, whether they're simple or complex, and I'll describe that more, the difference, and or summaries. Now, we can also measure client language, okay? And this gets to be kind of the more advanced part of this, okay? This is something that typically takes practice, okay? Picking out client language that is associated with positive outcomes. So recent studies, I talked about some of the therapist behaviors that predict outcomes, like empathy, and some of the interactions that predict outcomes, like decreased resistance, okay? But there's a client behavior that predicts outcomes quite well also, and it is called change talk, and specifically commitment language, okay? And so there's a model in which desirability, reasons, and need predicts commitment, and then commitment predicts subsequent behavior. Okay, so they've been able to do studies in which we listen to a client's language throughout an interview. Okay, we measure it, -5 to +5. Okay, and so they say, I love drinking. I love drinking. Relaxes me. I have fun. Hang out with my buddies. I love it. It's fun. Okay, I don't know what people's problem is because I enjoy it.
We need more fun.
Okay, perhaps. We take them out to Heidi and have a few more made if she.
How many more?
How many more do we need? Not sure. I'm not. No, let's say 5 or 6. Yeah, we'll just.
He doesn't have it.
He's taking the wrong
Taking the
thing.
wrong.
Edgar.
Edgar.
Wrong paper.
Oh yeah, the other paper. So we're gonna be working with each of these, and we're gonna be developing our ability to pick up on clients' desirability, reasons, and need, especially to change. Okay, when they express one of these ideas, I want to pick up on that, and I want to reinforce that, and I want to build on it. Okay, so. So the theory is you develop their desirability, reasons, and need to make the change, okay, which then will result in a commitment. They're going to say, well, you know, I really do want to quit this behavior, and I think I can. I mean, I've done it in the past for at least periods of time, and I certainly have a lot of reasons to do it. And if I don't do it, or if I continue the behavior, I know there are negative consequences. And so I think I'm going to make that particular change, okay? And so that would be an example. That's kind of a generic, formulaic way of stating, you know, that this person has the desirability, reasons, and need, and then that then predicts that they're going to actually take a particular course of action. So we're going to work with this a lot. I mean, through examples, I think we're going to bring it out a lot more. And I want to minimize the amount of time that I spend continuing to just lecture. So I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail unless people have questions right now. We'll just try to demonstrate it. But we keep in mind that it's positive and negative, and we're really trying to elicit that positive side, that positive desirability, reasons, and need. And we're always this is what we're doing. This is the big trick. We're looking for it. We're looking for that language. And when they say it, I'm gonna include it in my statements back to the client, primarily again through reflections. Wow, so this is something you really want. You do want this. Okay, you don't like other people looking at you or talking about you or viewing you as an alcoholic. You don't like that. Okay, so that has a little bit of a double meaning, doesn't it? If I say something like that, if I say you don't like being thought of as an alcoholic, okay, now that's a way that could be a potential reframe of somebody saying something, you know, that might otherwise be construed as denial, for example. But what a statement like that does is opens the door to, well, if you don't want to be viewed as an alcoholic, maybe one way to change that is to not show up drunk in public places, right? So now that's my thinking. That's my little thought right here, right? And now my trick is I'm going to get him to say that. Okay, I'm not going to tell him that because that probably would come across as a little bit judgmental, right? So now I've got this thought here. I'm thinking, and that's my little change theory. That's the way I'm going to go with it. Okay, so it's really working with that change talk. And so in our role plays, we're going to be picking up on change talk as much as we can. We're going to be identifying.
Can I please, like, can you give us example, like, related? I know motivation, as you said, like.